and get started. So when you first log into your employer portal, you're going to see your account summary. So that's the page I'm on right here. So you'll see some basic information like your account number for your group, your effective date, the number of employees you have connected to your plan. You can run some basic reports here. You can see your contributions year to date. I don't have anything on my demo account here, and distributions by month for 2019. And then down here at the bottom end is where you're going to see important notifications that Sterling wants to send to you, and we will also send them to you via email.
Great.
All right. So when you're first getting started as an employer in this portal, one of the first things you're going to want to do is take a peek over at this blue menu here on the left. This is how you're going to toggle throughout the different parts of the website and the different tools that are available to you. So the first thing we'll start with is add or update, excuse me, if I could speak correctly, add or update bank accounts. So we're going to go here, and right here you'll see we have some test fake accounts here in our demo site, and you can go ahead and any bank accounts that you add in here, you can edit them, you can remove them if they're no longer active, or for the very first time you're coming in here, you're going to click on Add New Bank Account, this little radio button here, and it'll allow you to enter a bank name. This doesn't have to be the legal name of the bank. It can be a nickname, so if you need something to help you differentiate your different bank accounts, you can just name it whatever you'd like. And then you'll enter the routing and account number and go ahead and save that in, and it'll save it up here for you next time you go in.
And Patty, how long does it take for, when you input your bank account number, how long does it take for it to go live in our system?
Good question. So it's immediate. It's right away. As soon as you put it in there, it's ready to use. All right. So the next thing we'll take a peek at is enrolling employees. So we have 3 options on our website to enroll your employees online. We can also accept EDI feed enrollments through if you have an HR software that you use in your company. That data can be exported and connected right to our system. So if that's something that you are interested in getting set up, just let your account executive or your sales director know, and they will help you with that. All right. So here on our website, we have 3 options. So we have an employee enrollment with enrollment login. We have an Excel spreadsheet method of enrollment and a web form method that's embedded into our website. So let's go ahead and start with the employee enrollment with enrollment login, Anne.
Okay.
All right. So as the HR person of a company, what you would do is come into this part of the site. You're going to enter your information here. So whoever's managing the enrollments within your company. So you're going to enter your information. You see mine's entered here. And then you're going to create a username. So I already have one created for my demo account, and my username is Master Enroll. So when you're going in here for the first time, you'll be able to enter a username and choose a password. You're going to want to choose something generic. So what you're going to do is after you create this username and password, you're going to go ahead and email that out to all of your employees who want to sign up for an HSA. And all they have to do is go to our website, log in with that username and password that you gave them, and then they'll get to register and choose their own unique username. So going forward, they'll have their own username to log into the site with.
And Patty, do we have like a sample email that an HR person would send out with all this information and the dummy login and password and where to go?
Yes, we do have samples of those emails. I don't actually have one with me handy at the moment, but we absolutely have them.
Great.
And your sales director or account executive would absolutely be able to provide that to you.
Perfect.
All right. So once you're created, you just send that out to all your employees, and then they go in and set up their accounts. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so let's take a peek at our other 2 enrollment options. All right, so we're going to go to enroll employees again, and here we see Excel spreadsheet method. So when we click get started, it takes us to a screen where you can download an Excel enrollment spreadsheet. So when you download this file, and I'll go ahead and open it so you can see what it looks like, you're going to input your employees' information. The nice thing is you can work offline with this. So if you do have a lot of enrollments, you can go ahead and save this on your computer and work offline, which is really nice.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Probably especially for a larger company too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the information can be copied and pasted from your HR software. So it is really nice. And we know our HR people are incredibly busy and they get pulled into all sorts of situations. So you might not have the time to just sit in one fell swoop, get it all done. So here is what the spreadsheet looks like here. At the top, you're going to see these red columns. Anything in red is going to be a required field. And we do provide you with 2 samples so you can see how it needs to be entered, but we didn't leave it at that. Down at the bottom, you'll see an instruction worksheet. And if you take a peek here, you'll be able to also see what we're looking for, what's required, what's not required, and how to enter that information so that our system will accept it when you upload it to the system.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So all you do is go ahead and enter in the information for all the employees that you want to enroll in an HSA, and then you're going to save this file after deleting Mr. John Doe and Will Smith from this spreadsheet, and then you're going to upload it to the website. So we're going to go right back here, just click browse, and then you'll upload it. So right after you upload it, the nice thing is down below there's a file upload history. So you'll be able to see if anyone was successfully uploaded or potentially if anyone failed to load.
That's amazing. So that's literally real time. So let's say you have to get this done by end of day, it's 4 o'clock, you finally get it uploaded, you can see immediately if it was successful and if you're good to go.
Yep, it's immediate. You'll be able to see the success rate. So once you do this, once you upload it, your employees are going to get an email from Sterling. And it happens right away. Within seconds, they're going to get those emails. And the email will let them know to go ahead and go into Sterling's website and create a username and password, log into that username and password, and then complete their online application there. So when they enroll this way, it is a little bit different than the username and password method, in that we have this employees section here on the left in this blue menu. And when you use this enrollment method versus the username and password method, we do store all of the employees in the system, and you'll be able to see that they have or have not completed their enrollment. So with the other method, you won't see those employees show up in this list until they've actually logged in and completed their enrollment. So this does give you a little added extra way of managing all of those enrollments through Sterling's portal. So once they've completed their enrollment, you'll see enrollment completed in this column will say yes. And anyone who hasn't, there will be something that says no there. Oh, I do have someone who hasn't completed their enrollment here, and that's still pending activation.
And so for that person, you would follow up with an email to nudge them to go, finish the process.
Yep, give them a little nudge and see if they can go in and finish that. One other thing I wanted to show you in this employee section is the terminate button. So if you have anyone in here that maybe you sent them an email and they turned out they didn't want to sign up for the HSA, or maybe it's someone who's leaving your company, you want to remove them from your list. It's a good idea to manage your list and terminate anyone that is no longer active in the HSA program with your company. That way you don't accidentally submit contributions to them. It just keeps your list nice and clean. And by clicking this terminate button and clicking the save button at the bottom, it's going to disconnect the link between their individual account and your group. It's not going to affect their account in any other way, and your employee will not even know that you've done it. If you accidentally do it too early or you click the wrong person, it happens. Don't worry. Our customer service team would be happy to add them back to your account, and it's just a couple of clicks. Within seconds, we'll have them back into your group. No problem.
That's great. And then just to be clear, so let's say, they're terminating from the company and you're going to terminate their HSA. They still have an HSA with Sterling. It's just not part of the employer group.
You've got it, Anne. Okay. Absolutely. All right. So let's go back to the enrollee section again and look at the last option that we have on our website. It's called the web form method. So this is really similar to the Excel spreadsheet method, but it does require just slightly less information to be data entered by the employer. So on this section, you'll see first name, last name, social, date of birth, health plan, deductible, employee email. So we're not asking for their mailing address in this form here. You can add up to 20 employees at a time right here into the website, and then you'll click submit form at the bottom. And just like the Excel spreadsheet method, it's going to send an email to your employee, letting them know that their employer has started the process of opening an HSA for them, and they need to go and complete the setup. So they'll click the link, register for online access, log into their account that they created, and then they'll have their online application to complete. And with this method, again, in the employees section, you're going to see all of those employees who have and have not completed their applications yet.
Oh, that's great. So this one might be better for like a one-off situation, like if you're adding a couple of new hires or just a smaller company, because it's just so easy and it's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. When I used to work on the customer service line, we would have employers who would call in every once in a while and they hadn't enrolled someone in a while and they just needed some guidance. And this is a really quick way to do an enrollment here and there if you just want to get them in and out pretty quickly. It just requires so little information to be entered from the employee to generate those emails. All right, are you ready to see the next section, Anne?
I'm ready.
All right, perfect. So right here we have our account summary, which we saw, was the first page we went to. We took a peek at add update bank accounts. We've seen the employees tab and enroll employees. So now let's take a peek at how you can submit contributions once you have everyone enrolled. So we're going to click on the contributions button here in the blue menu. And we have two online contribution methods on our website for you. So one is going to be similar to this web form method of enrolling employees, where it's going to be embedded into our website. So you will be able to see to enter all of the information into that page right here. And I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to click Create New Contribution here. And then you're going to see all of the employees who are eligible for contributions in my group are going to populate on this screen. And I'll show you how you can differentiate the different types of contributions that you'll be submitting for them. So here we see all of my enrolled employees who have completed their applications. And I have a demo account, so I have a lot of enrollees. So I'll spare you in scrolling through all of them. But we have here at the top, we have boxes for each different type of contribution. So you can allocate them separately. That way on your employer statements and your employees' activity statements, they'll be able to see the different types of contributions broken out. So here, if you have a contribution to make from the company, if you're the employer and you're contributing funds to your employees' accounts, you can allocate that here. We also have a box for employee contributions. So this would be any payroll deductions that your employees have you do for them. Mm-hmm. And then if you are paying the employees' fees for their HSAs, you can also allocate that here under employer fee contribution. It's not required. You can leave this blank. There is no fee required to submit a contribution. This would only be used if you wanted to pay the monthly or the annual fee on your employees' HSA, depending on the fee plan they've chosen.
Got it.
And then we do have another field that's very, very rarely used by employers, but it's employee fee contribution. So in some rare instances, we do have employees who have post-tax deductions from their payroll, and their employer will do that specifically to pay for their HSA fees. And so in those rare circumstances, we do have a field for that, but most employers would never use this employee fee contribution bucket. All right, so now let's go back up to the top here. So this is really important up here. So first we have our bank account. So if we drop this down, it's going to show us all of the bank accounts that we've entered into our portal. So I can choose which one I want to use to submit HSA contributions. The next field here is contribution type. So there's initial contribution, which you can use to sort of pin any initial or first contribution you're making to your employee's account. It's not necessary to do so, but you can. The next option is regular contribution, and this is the one you're going to use most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to post a regular year contribution. We also have some less used options, rollovers, contributions, and catch-up contributions for those employees who are over 55 years or older. If you do special contributions for them, you can allocate that. So you know that for sure you made those catch-up contributions for them. But again, for the most part, you're going to use regular contribution. I also want to add that with HSAs, you are able to do a prior year contribution towards your employee's account. So these are really important at the very end of the year, where you have a payroll maybe that ended, you know, right around December 25th, 26th, at the very end of the year. You might not get around to submitting that before the new year rolls around. And that's okay. Once it hits January 1st, you're going to see in this contribution type menu that there's a prior year contribution type. So keep in mind, sorry, Anne, did you have something to say?
No, I was thinking that's great. That's great.
So over here in transaction date, you see how it says 2019? So if I were to have the prior year contribution option right now, it would post to 2018. Regular contribution is going to post to the year of the transaction date, and prior year contribution will post to the prior year of the transaction date. So keep special attention to the transaction date that you're submitting. This is the date that our finance team is going to pull an ACH transaction from your bank account and post it to each of your employees as you've allocated in the list below. All right, are you ready to see the other contribution type, Anne?
Yes, I am ready. Bring it.
Awesome. All right, let's take a peek. So our other contribution option is an Excel upload option. And so right here it says upload contribution. So if we click on that, it's going to take us to another screen where we can download a template similar to the Excel upload enrollment method. So we have the embedded version where you can work right into the website, and then we have the offline version. So if you're really busy or you think you'll get pulled aside, or if you just want to save an Excel copy for your own records, you can go ahead and work offline with this Excel. Let's go ahead and close this one out, and we will get this other one open for you and take a peek at what it looks like. It's just loading up on my screen, so just one moment. All right, here we go. So you'll see you have those same three options. So you'll choose the bank account that you want the transaction to come from. You'll choose the contribution type, which usually will be regular contribution, and then your transaction date. The one thing I didn't mention before about this transaction date is that you won't be able to backdate this. And the reason is because it truly is the date that it's telling our finance team to go pull an ACH from your bank account. So unfortunately, we don't have a time machine. But I have good news. You can set transactions into the future. So if you ever wanted to set up reoccurring transactions, you could always just create those in advance. So if I wanted a transaction to go through every payroll, let's say I have 24 payrolls this year, I can go in and I can set up 24 transactions in advance. So they just go through like clockwork. All right, so on this screen, we're going to download this template. I'll go ahead and open that so you can see it. And then similar to the Excel enrollment method, you're going to populate this spreadsheet and then just upload it to our website, which is going to submit that transaction for you. So let me show you around this template here. I'm going to go ahead and expand it so you can see it. So here we have our template. So it's pretty simple, easy. It's not too crazy. We have first name, last name, social, Sterling account number, employee or contributions. You see those different ways you can allocate those transactions again and how the funds should be applied, and then the total contribution amount. So much like our other spreadsheet, we have an instruction tab. So it does tell you exactly what is required. So you see here the Sterling account number is not required. You might not have it on hand, so it's okay. You don't need it to submit the contribution. And then you'll save this.
That is so nice.
Yeah, I love that we have these.
Yeah, because you may be handing that off to someone, or it's something you work on over a number of days. So that's nice, just have the directions right there on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when I was learning, when I first started with Sterling, I used to use this instructions tab all the time to help guide people through the system. So it's helpful for all of us.
Yeah.
All right. So then once you have that file all complete and ready to go, you're going to save it as a or comma delimited file, and you're going to just go ahead and browse and upload it right here. And so once you've done that, it's going to show you in the contributions page here any pending transactions that you've submitted. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like here. So you'll be able to see your pending transactions, your posted transactions, and anything that's been canceled. So you see here, when I scroll down this page a little bit, I have pending contributions here. And if I have an orange link like this, anything orange is usually a hyperlink on our website. So if I wanted to review that transaction that was submitted, for example, I have a few pending here on my demo site. If I click this transaction number, it will show me the breakdown. And since it is a pending transaction, I can make edits to this before the transaction date.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what if you made a mistake? You can go in and edit it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what if, like, let's say you go in and you edit everything and you're good with the transaction that's going to go, say, like tomorrow. Do you edit and you want to change it? Do you edit that same one, or do you just create a new one? Like,
you can just edit the same one here.
Okay.
So I can click here and I can change the transaction amount for this employee here. And then I would just click update and it would update that transaction.
Oh, that's great.
So I don't have to submit the whole thing again. All right. So let's go back to that other screen and I'll show you the other options that we have available to manage their contributions. All right. So back here, I was showing you pending contributions. And if we scroll down just a bit more, we have processed contributions. And then if we go even further past this, there's canceled transactions down at the bottom. So if you've canceled anything, there is a history of that. I also want to show you what I call the easy button. So I did mention a minute ago that you can set up transactions in advance so they go through like clockwork for you, so you don't have to keep logging in every payroll and submitting contributions. You ready?
Ready.
All right. So right here, where you see the copy button, you can copy this transaction. So if I click this button, don't worry, it's not going to submit it right away. It's actually just going to pre-fill everything for me to copy over the transaction that I've already data entered before. You can even do this with the Excel upload. So if you've Excel uploaded one transaction, you can copy that transaction. You can make edits to it. You can make any changes. Maybe Nathan already changed his payroll deduction. He's not doing those anymore. And then I can just go ahead and I could even change the bank account number that's on file for this transaction. I can change the contribution type, the transaction date I can set to maybe a future date. So I can set up a transaction date for each payroll date. So that way, those get pulled from my bank account on those transaction dates and posted to my employees' accounts like clockwork.
That's got to be everybody's favorite button, right? When you teach them that?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it saves a lot of time, for sure. So let's see, some other things that we have on our portal that are really important for employers to know about are activity statements. So under the activity statement screen, we do have some preset activity statement timeframes for you, like quarter, year to date, all activity, for example. But a lot of times when you're doing reconciliation, you're wanting to look for a specific date range, or maybe you're looking for a specific person. So one thing I like to show people is this link here that says get a detailed report for this period. If you go ahead and click that button, it'll take you to a screen that now you can choose the start and end date of the transactions you'd like to see. And then once you pull those, you'll be able to export them into Excel format so that you can go ahead and filter it any way you need to.
That's so great. So if you're looking for a mistake that was made or a discrepancy or some issue, you can just totally narrow it down.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really nice thing to go to, and a lot of people miss it because it is that little link on the right side, but it's so powerful. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is reports. So under the reports section, we have a lot of utilization reports. So we know with HSAs, a lot of our employee information is protected. It's HIPAA protected and it's PHI. So we're not able to really provide that to employers just to keep their employees' information safe and protected. But we do provide utilization reports. So they can see things like how many employees have an account balance between $1,000 to $1,500, or how many employees have debit cards, or how many have beneficiaries listed on their accounts. You just won't be able to see which employees exactly, but you'll be able to see some demographic information, which is really nice to help you with planning in the future, helping you to determine if you're doing an employer contribution, did you contribute too much this year? Did people have a huge balance, or did you contribute a little too little and people used up their balances? So it gives you some really nice reports that you can kind of run through. And if you ever want
I get this for HIPAA reasons too, but also the marketing connection is for the HR person. I'm sure they're very interested in what's the utilization, right? And do they need maybe more account holder information or an education campaign from us? So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to be able to see how people are kind of using their accounts.
Right.
Another thing I wanted to show, and it shows here, I can select a division. So over here, we have a managed division section. So if you have employees, maybe you have employees in different locations or different classes of employees, maybe union and non-union employees, you can set up divisions and then assign those employees to those divisions. So that way in these reports, you can divide them up. So for example, we have a client that has both firemen and police officers working for them. So they're able to separate those two classes of employees and then run separate reports to see, maybe we're not giving enough funding towards the police department. Maybe they had a few more expenses than our firemen or vice versa. So it does give you those nice reports to help you manage your. So those are the really main important things that you're going to want to know about as an employer. So thanks for hanging in there with me, Anne. I hope that you learned some stuff and had a little bit of fun navigating through this portal with me.
Yeah, I sure did. Thank you, Patty. And thank you everyone for watching.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye now.